Welcome everyone to Gorilla and the Geek, the podcast for sweaty nerds by sweaty nerds. My name is Kyle from Geeks Weekly, and I'm here with my man Johnny Stees, Johnny Streams, John the Ginger Gorilla.
That is me. I am the Ginger Gorilla. The Ginger Gorilla is me, and Kyle is a geek. The geek is Kyle. Welcome.
How you doing, John?
Welcome everybody for another episode of Gorilla and the Geek. I'm excited. Just a little behind the scenes, as always. I don't know if he's gonna be happy that I'm saying this, but tomorrow is Kyle's birthday. From the day that we are recording this, we are going out tonight. We are getting hyped. So if we sound a little extra excited, this podcast, it's because we're coming in with Saturday energy of we're going out tonight. We're ready. Like we're excited. So I mean, we already get excited on these podcasts because we're geeking out. But I think this one might be even like higher.
We're coming in hot, baby.
Coming in hot.
And with that being said, shall we get started?
Yes, let's do it.
All right, so my topic for this week. John and I last week saw what I am referring to as the film of the year. We saw a movie called Parasite. It's a foreign film. I believe it was produced in Korea. I'm not sure which Korea. I'd imagine South.
Bro, do you know how wild it is though that you're like wait.
What?
Did you just say I don't know which Korea? I imagine South.
I would hope South.
Like you think North Korea is producing content?
Hey, bro, who knows?
I mean, they actually do produce content.
Yeah, I don't want to.
But it's not content we see. It's only content so South Korea could think they're not bad.
Well,
it's all fake crap.
I don't want. Well, yeah, shout out propaganda.
No,
but yeah, I don't want to.
But no one calls when people talk about Korea. They're talking about South Korea. So yeah.
Yeah. Sure. So I essentially I was right. It was directed by a man whose first name is Bong, and I cannot say his last name. And it is. I would relate it to this year's version of Get Out. It's like an Asian Quentin Tarantino style film. It's incredible. It's a wild ride. I recommend everyone go watch it. It has subtitles in it. But the whole movie, it's all in Korean. But if you can get past that, it's a phenomenal watch. Would you agree, John? Just real quick.
Oh yeah. Also, if you're listening to this and you think that let me take their word and go see it. Let me watch the trailer first so I have an idea. I didn't see a trailer at all for this. I kind of read the description on IMDb, and then I was like, you know what? Yeah, let's go see it. And I went to go see it, and I was blown away. So even if you don't see a trailer, even if you just go off of what we said, and you're like, for some reason you're like, John and Kyle, I think they know what they're doing, and they're like, let me go see this movie, which I highly suggest too. I've been telling everyone at work. I've been telling everyone. I think I want to go see it again actually.
I might too. To be honest, it's so good.
But definitely go see it. Great movie.
So here's the essential point of my topic and why I brought that movie up. I would like to discuss why we think that foreign films don't get enough love in America. We like to think of and you know what? Let's not even say America. Because we are East Coast boys, and I think that's probably where we should discuss because I can't speak for anyone else outside this portion of the country.
Yeah.
So I'm aware that places like New York film festivals or select indie movie theaters throughout New York, New Jersey, I'm sure other places around the coast are playing this. But this movie deserves to be in every major theater in the country. It is.
So basically, why isn't it pop culture, right?
Yeah, and it's only made $88 million.
That's.
Oh, I want to see real quick.
I wonder what their budget is now. Now you say that, I always
I can find that out. Hold on.
So, but okay. So here's my thought on that though. While you do your Google searching, I think it's because America only cares about America. How often you have to, if you're another artist, right? Let's say a music artist. You always hear about all these British music artists. They might be big over there, but then they want to make the leap over to American culture and the American scene. So they have to basically come over and almost start fresh, right? Now, obviously they have a little bit of a foot up, but it's that almost starting fresh type of thing. because America only cares about American content, which is weird. Except for TV shows. TV shows is the
Yeah.
one thing that like we could listen or watch TV shows from another country and be like all good. Um, but when it comes to certain content, it's just no go, no go.
Yeah, it's really weird. And I'm someone who, and I mean, I'll speak for myself. I love foreign films, but I don't know enough, nor do I hear enough about them to know when I can readily find them, right? And I think that has to do with some media coverage, of course, which is, I think it does coincide with what you're saying, where a lot of people only care about stuff that pertains directly to them. But I think with when it comes to content and art, I feel like we're in this age where we're all seeking content all the time. Everyone's on Twitter all the time. Everyone's on Instagram all the time. Everyone's on Tinder, Hinge, Snapchat, all these different apps to, I don't know, fill the void of boredom, I guess.
Yeah, it's just you. There's never a moment in life that you have to be bored anymore. Like I remember being a kid, and I you probably remember too. We would go somewhere and with your parents, you just I'm bored at the doctor's office. We were waiting. I'm bored. Um, Now it never has to be a thing, and yeah, I'm assuming that this is the perfect time just for if international movies want to try to break in, like it become more of a thing, or theaters trying to make that more of a thing. Um, this might be the time to do that due to the fact that, like you said, everybody's trying to consume content. I mean, if I think about my day, I could I could consume multiple different types of content at once. Like, and that's usually how it is. I'll be watching a TV show, but I'll also be on Instagram or Reddit. I will be doing, I'll be playing video games. I'll be listening to a podcast. But even just the podcast thing, I'm a podcast addict. That's one of the reasons that, and I know you are too. And that's one of the reasons we started this because we're like, we love it so much. Let's dip our toes in that pool. We want to be part of that art.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that this could be the time for that to break through because people want so much more. Like, I mean, just think about us. I feel like we've always been moviegoers, but within
Mm-hmm.
the last couple of months, we've really just been like consuming everything.
John and I this year have seen I'll say almost every major motion picture release or every movie with any sort of hype
Yeah.
surrounding it.
Also, I want to say this year has changed my view on international films. For some reason, I always thought international films were like these high end, like artsy films that I wouldn't understand.
Yeah.
And they are high end, but they're good films. We saw Parasite, like you said. Then we also saw what was the Chinese one?
Oh, The Farewell.
The
Oh,
Farewell,
so good.
and
So
that was
good.
amazing. And then also indie films, I feel like are breaking through this year too,
Yeah,
right?
a little
Like
bit.
there's a lot of indie films that I feel like we saw and we loved them.
Yeah.
Now maybe that's just with age and with what the exposure we're getting ourselves to. Maybe that's why we're thinking of it this way because we're actively seeking out. We're digging a little deeper. We're not just
Could be.
looking for superficial films.
Mm-hmm.
But I hope that they're doing better. I mean, I would love to see. I wonder if there's any stats out there for like how they were in the past and how they are now, type of thing.
I'm not sure there are. And speaking of stats, so I have the budget for Parasite. So it's made its money back and then some, of course. The production budget was $11 million. So they've made quite a bit of money. However,
Yeah.
this is what Get Out has made. Get Out made $255 million.
Holy crap! And what was the production budget on? Do you have the production budget with that or no?
Production. Holy crap! The production budget of Get Out was $4 million.
Holy crap! Wait, was that less than Parasite?
Yeah, bro, that's
Bro,
crazy.
that's wild. I
Oh
mean,
my
given
gosh.
how many actually places how many places did they need to film? They like filmed like his apartment and then the house,
Then
right?
yeah, really.
Like
I
and that
mean,
was
yeah.
it.
So Parasite, without giving anything away, it takes place kind of all throughout a city in South Korea.
Yeah.
So I get that, and there's a lot of actors in it.
Yeah. That's true. Ooh, yeah, the cast is huge. Well, not huge,
And
but pretty big.
well, we're also not sure how famous they are in South Korea,
That's true. So
how much each actor was going for. Like, there's not many big name people in Get Out. from what I remember at least.
That made a lot of names though.
Yeah, especially
Because
the guy.
the guy was in that TV show Black Mirror. He was in that.
Daniel Kaluuya.
Yeah, he was in the 5 million merits or whatever it is, that
Hmm.
bicycle episode. Was the dad? The dad was a more famous actor though, right?
Yeah, that's Bradley Whitford.
Yeah, and I feel like I've seen him places.
Well,
Um,
and Catherine Keener. She's pretty well known. The
but
the the White family was
the
had
white.
some known names.
Oh, and also, the dude who was his friend, the TSA agent. He
Oh,
actually that made his career, but like him and main dude weren't big beforehand.
what's his name? Rel Howery? Howery?
Yeah.
Yeah, Rel Howery. Yeah. Oh, and Lakeith Stanfield, but screw that guy.
Where?
That guy's a scuzzball.
Okay, I'll
Um,
take your word for that.
yeah, we'll talk after the pod. So, yeah, all this to say, I don't. This is like a difficult, I guess, thing to say. I think that Get Out was such a big hit that year, not only because it was probably the best movie that came out that year, but also because it involved black culture and white culture and talked about race relations.
Yeah.
I think that unless you, I don't know, do you think it's because, well, in this case with Parasite, um, do you think it's because there's not enough people caring about outside, like Asian culture in an actual Asian country?
No, I just
Like,
think it's 100% marketing here.
well, see, so like, Crazy Rich Asians made a stupid amount of money,
But it was
and that was a
promoted.
really good
It
movie.
was promoted here a lot.
Yes, yes, it was.
I don't think I've seen any promoting for Parasite. I don't.
You know what?
I
That
don't
you might be
know.
right.
Like, and Crazy Rich Asians in English.
I believe so.
So was that was an American movie with Asian actors. No,
Let me see.
it wasn't. It was made here, right? Like that's the
Uh,
difference. I don't think it was just
so
because
I
it
didn't
was.
watch it. To
Yeah,
be
me
fair.
either. I want to see it because I did hear good things, but
Yeah.
um,
Uh,
I think that like there's a difference obviously because Parasite. I do think it could do really well here if they promoted it more here,
hell
but
yeah.
it's not. I haven't seen anything on it. Like the only
So,
reason I heard of it, I think, was because of you. And I want to say I heard somewhere else, but that legit might be just another podcast that I heard it from.
real
So I
quick, you
think it
want to
was,
know how many showings there are around us?
yeah,
3.
that's wild. And that's the thing. Like we had to go to an AMC, um,
Hmm.
and pay $17.
Bro, those joints were so expensive.
And guess what? Just for everyone here, guess what? It wasn't even a great AMC. Like it was a mall AMC, right? So those are usually nicer, bigger. But the seats were just seats. I don't get it. Look,
And they falsely advertised. They said that they were signature reclining seats.
that was a load of barnacles, one. And two, it is 2019, almost 2020. We've talked about it on this podcast time and time again, these streaming wars that are going on. And I don't even know if we mentioned on this podcast, but that whole idea of where there's companies trying to start something where you could buy the movie and watch it at home.
Oh yeah.
Right?
I think Voodoo's
So
one of them.
they're trying to destroy this movie theater going experience. I don't think they're trying to destroy it, but they're just trying to make more money, right? So these movie theaters, and I don't even want to say these movie theaters. I want to say AMC needs to step up their game. One, because I hate them, and I want them to be better because they're so much more readily available. But they need to lower their prices. One, because it's ridiculous out here. $20 to go see a movie? What? Are you
That's
kidding
crazy.
me? I could just wait for it to come out on DVD and literally buy the DVD for 3 times that, right? If I watch the DVD 3 times, then it's like I went to movies once.
Yeah.
Also, like, how are your seats still like this, right? Like, I get you're trying to put people in seats, but half the times I feel like I go to the theaters or AMC's, and besides Parasite was pretty packed.
Yeah.
But I think that was
Surprisingly.
because it was limited. But
Yeah.
like, you don't need that many seats. Just have more showings then. right?
I agree. And so like, just to describe to people who maybe are like, "Hey, AMC's not that bad." We sat top row, and while walking across to get to my seat, I genuinely was afraid of falling downwards, tumbling down each row of seats.
I've never been
That's
in one that's so cramped like that.
Dude. That's how like I genuinely. I'm not exaggerating. I was like worried for a second. Like, don't fall over. Don't fall over. You'll kill people
Especially
beneath.
because then we could go to Carasodes, right?
Yes, which is actually owned by AMC. Interestingly enough.
It is? Damn, that
Yeah.
breaks my heart. Yo, Ames, yo, this is what I'm saying, bro. It makes
Mhm.
me so angry. How
Oh
are
yeah.
they? They're a monopoly, right?
So
And
I
nobody
feel like we talked
talks
about this
about it.
before. Yeah, we've talked about
I
this before, where
probably.
monopolies are not good for any consumer whatsoever. And AMC is the monopoly of the movie industry. They have the most theaters around the country. I'm pretty sure. I it's hard to get into the movie theater business because of AMC. And I think they bought out Carasodes originally, so it's like a subset company. And but it doesn't excuse the fact that they have to make billions of dollars every
Oh,
year.
they have to. But I also think it's part of the thing. Like, why would anyone go into it now if it's almost like a dying thing?
Yeah, no, I agree. But yeah. So like, I I, I think you might be right about the marketing thing. I do hope that throughout the next couple of years, because I feel like being woke is like the hot new thing. But I think that with the whole movement of being woke and caring about other cultures, I think you also have to consider putting your money where your mouth is. I think you need to financially support these creatives who come from other countries, who come from different cultures than you, experience what they have to say, experience their voices, because this movie talked about a culture so foreign to me, I would not be able to understand it. And it talked about a
Mhm.
class structure and a class system and classism from a different nation, and it's eye opening. So I think stuff like this is really important because of those reasons. If you're someone who cares about that, if you're someone who just wants to watch a really entertaining movie, I think you should broaden your horizons. I think you should look to other places aside from going to see the new Transformers movie. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And the great thing about this movie is you could get a high end message, right? Like
Yeah.
a great message, a powerful message. And even if you didn't want to consume that, the storyline is so good and the movie is set up so well that it has you on the edge of your seat throughout most of it, right? Like
I'm not joking.
I didn't find
I jumped out of my seat at one point.
word. I didn't find it boring.
No, I was
Plus,
enthralled.
it's one of those great movies that it gives you so much to talk about afterwards.
Dude, we talked about it for hours.
Yeah, like it's great. Um, but crap, I had another point that I wanted to play off this. Oh well, I guess it was not important. Oh, I think it's still crazy that if you look at like television or that type of content, that where like people are so easily like to go international with like anime things like that. But like I know there's a lot of Irish and British television shows that break through here. Um, you see, it's usually more in the Hispanic culture with the TV novelas. Um, but that content is so much easier to break through. And I just thought of probably why, because it's free or accessible. You don't have to go to a theater to go get it, right? So it's there. So when you hear of it word of mouth, it's you don't have to go out of your way. Where the movies, you have to find a theater. You have to actively search for it. And then sometimes you have to drive or pay more like we did just to consume it.
Yeah, no, for sure.
So it's
I agree.
holding it back a lot. So I do think like let's say that one of these companies do come up with like an at-home movie experience type thing. I think that would really help the international movie scene also. Because of the fact
Uh,
then you could just get it in your house. Like if you hear about it, you're like, oh, I could pay-per-view it, right? Like
that's a good point.
so I think that would help it a lot. But I don't know. I do hope that it does something great comes from it though.
Yeah, I agree.
All right. So do you want to do our question for the week now?
Sure.
Cool. So I messaged you this question earlier to give you some time to think about it because it is one of those questions that it makes you think for a minute. And the question is, what movie, or yeah, let's go. What movie, right? Would you like to turn into a TV series if you could, right?
Hmm.
So it doesn't necessarily like you have to come up with a storyline. You don't have to think the storyline's great, but like, what would you like to see expanded on, or you think would be cool as a TV series?
Yeah. Do you want to go first or should I?
Do you need time to think, or
No, I got one.
all right, go ahead. You can go first.
All right. So mine is it's. I feel like it's a cheat code, but it's something I really would love to see. Would have loved to have seen. Almost serialized. So I guess like structure spoiler alert for Godfather Part 2. The Godfather Part 2 is split up into two movies, essentially. You see present day with Michael Corleone, and then you see the past with the rise of his father, Don Vito Corleone, and his rise to becoming the Godfather. I think I would have loved to have seen a like an HBO series of uh, Don Vito Corleone's time as the Mafia Don. So we get to see the latter parts of it in Godfather Part 1, and we get to see the beginning of it in Godfather Part 2. But I think that if we can get a series, especially back then with a young Robert De Niro playing the head of the famous Corleone Mafia, I think that could have been phenomenal television, especially if it was taking place. Like, let's say they had today's technology and today's budgets,
Yeah,
a family crime drama starring a young Robert De Niro. Are you kidding me?
that would be
Oh,
amazing.
I think it would rival The Sopranos, which
Now,
I've never watched.
here's my question. I was just about to say, have you ever saw The Sopranos? Because I heard it was amazing, but
Hmm.
I also need to watch it, and I do plan on watching it soon.
Same.
But would like if someone heard us, right, and they were like, oh wow, that's a really good idea, and they try to do that, would you watch it if they didn't use Robert De Niro? Obviously, they can't use Robert De Niro, but like
Man,
they found
that'd
an
be so
actor
hard.
and they're just like, look, we know it. Maybe he doesn't look alike. They look similar, but he's a good actor, and they just take in. Because I think at first you'd be like hesitant, but I think once if especially if the show's good, you would get into it and you'd be like, yeah, this is him now.
So, like, here's the thing, and this is why I kind of have to say yes, I would be into it. So, the original Vito Corleone was played by Marlon Brando. That's him as an old man.
Mm.
Um, and the young version was De Niro in the next film.
Mm-hmm.
So, because there's already two versions of him, I feel like I would have to just accept it, even
Sure.
though it would be so weird. And
Yeah.
that's such a hard role to fill. I mean, everyone's heard the whole like, let's make him an offer we can't refuse thing. But you know, they have the voice like, we'll make him an offer we can't refuse, which is not necessarily the exact line. But you need someone to do that and not make it sound like a shite impression like I just did.
Yeah.
You need someone to embody the role, embody that that vocal structure, that look, that mustache, the slick back hair, the swagger that this mafia don has, the presence that he has when he walks into a room. Those are big shoes to fill. Now, who would I like to see play that, you may be asking? I have an idea. Let's go with my guy. I'll go with one of two guys because I give options out here. I'll say either Jake Gyllenhaal, who I think is
Oh, there you
probably
go.
one of the most talented men in the world right now in terms of acting,
Yeah.
or if we want to go a little bit more grizzled, a little bit more intimidating, let's go with my guy Tom Hardy.
Yeah. As soon as you said Jake Gyllenhaal, and then as soon as you said my first thought was Tom Hardy. That was weird.
Yeah, I mean, if you want someone
Bro,
with presence and
they
with
both
weight,
would be good. See, that was the thing. I think Tom Hardy, would fill it better because of his like Jake Gyllenhaal's a little skinnier, right?
yeah,
So I would see I feel like the big shoulders, like the broad shoulders, almost Tom Hardy, and he's basically half the way there with the accent because he mumbles anyway,
oh my god,
right?
oh my god, we just casted it perfectly.
It's
Oh, I
perfect.
really want, I really
You
want to see
can't
this
understand.
now.
You can't understand him ever anyway, and he does those shows. Like he'll do those shows,
Yeah, the
right?
only thing
Like
is he'd have to work on his Italian.
I think he could get it though. No,
Sure, yeah, it's Tom Hardy. He's one
yeah.
of the best.
That's the thing. All right, so for mine isn't as exciting, but it's just something I'm obsessed with. I would love Planet of the Apes. And You know what? Actually, to think about it, I think it did have a short TV run, but I would like it nowadays with like the CGI budgets that they're putting into shows. Like I just watched I started the first episode of The Mandalorian,
Hmm.
and obviously it's just CGI out the wazoo. I mean, there's some practical effects, but there's a lot of CGI in it. Um, and I think it would be so cool to see um, basically the rise of the Planet of the Apes and just like battles that they have to deal with, maybe battles between certain factions of apes almost. But that's just my weird asphyxiation with apes, I think, and the fact that I'm obsessed with those movies.
I think that's a really good idea. Just a little fun fact, little trivia. So there was, in fact, a Planet of the Apes series.
Gotcha.
It ran from September 13th in 1974. I'm gonna give you one guess. Can you guess when it ended?
Wait, you said say the beginning of date again?
September 13th, 1974. If you just get the year right, I'll be
74.
cool.
I would say 75.
It ended in 74.
Oh, it didn't even make it a year.
No, it ended December
I wonder.
20th, 1974.
Yo, that means they had one season, and they were like, "No,
Uh,
this isn't good, right?" Or
so here's what happened. The series was I'm reading directly from Google. The series was canceled after nope. Siri, come on, God damn it.
damn, and you said her name, so that means everywhere else, anyone listening to this, it's going off right now.
The series, not Siri, was canceled after half of. Don't do it again. Half a season because of low ratings due to direct competition by NBC, Stanford and Son. What a throwback!
Wait,
And Chico and the Man.
yo, that's wild. I like how people were like, I could watch Sanford and Son or Planet of the Apes, and those were direct competition. I see,
I
but like
know.
nowadays, like people would watch both, right? They would
Hmm.
DVR one and watch the other, or just stream it. So I think it would work really well right now,
Yeah,
especially because they just had the movies.
yeah. The when was the last one? Last year?
Not like 2 years ago,
Jesus.
3. Yeah.
And guess what? They only aired 13 out of 14 episodes. That means one just wasn't ever put on
That is
television.
so. How do you get cut before your season finale? Like you have one episode left as the season finale, and the TV executives are like, "This show is doing so bad that we need to
Got
pull
to
it
go.
before they're just. We can't even end the season.
Yeah,
We
it
can't even.
it aired 3 weeks later on the
Oh my god,
with the reruns or the
that's
TV box.
so
So,
mean.
right?
God, that just it hurts my heart almost. Like it's so
It's
funny.
sad.
Damn. Wow. Well,
Yeah.
I would like to see both those shows. I'd like to see both those
Same
shows.
here.
And as always, if you have any suggestions, there's a bunch of ways you could reach us, right? You could DM Kyle or myself on Instagram, right? You could comment in the YouTube channel if you're watching that, or you could email gingergrillgaming@gmail.com and tell us what you think. Start a
Absolutely.
conversation. Let us know. But yeah, so moving on to our video game part of this beautiful podcast.
Hmm.
And as we covered, I think every podcast so far, the stream wars are still in effect, full
Big
effect,
time.
to the
Big time.
point where now it's a world war, right? We have a lot of parties entering this, and it's
Way
getting
to not be hyperbolic,
fierce.
brother.
It is fierce out here, okay? So now we had Twitch, right? The first person there, the leader of the pack. Then Microsoft is like, hey, we do video games out here. We're going to come in with Mixer and start buying people away from you. And then YouTube was like, let's be real. We've had live streaming for a minute now. And they
It's crappy, but yeah.
bought out Courage JD. Courage JD, who's a bigger streamer, but he is now streaming on YouTube.
I didn't know that.
You didn't know that?
No, I've
Yeah.
been so busy this week. What?
Courage JD is on YouTube Live. He did a whole thing, and it was pretty good. So I think it's hilarious that every time these streamers get bought out, that company hires a production company to make a video of like I'm moving over. And Courage's was great, and his reason was that he wants to do more than just video games. He wants to release more than video game videos, and he's on YouTube anyway. So why not stream there too? Right?
Wow.
And then YouTube, obviously, I think they want to get their hand in this, right? As we know, everything is going to streaming, right?
Yeah.
So it makes sense that they want, and like, they want that live streaming aspect of YouTube to start popping off. Maybe live TV shows, live web shows, live cooking shows, things like that. Just live stuff. But why not start with the market that's already huge with live streaming gaming, right? So we get gaming people over here, and then people like, oh, our live YouTube live is a thing, and then all of a sudden maybe it trickles into everything else that they want to put out, and it makes sense, you know?
Yeah.
Because every streamer has a YouTube channel, and if you follow the streamer, you most likely follow their YouTube channel, and if you're on their YouTube channel, all of a sudden now they're live. It's right there. Now, I do agree with you. It does suck, kind of. Like, there is a subscription thing. It just kind of looks clunky, right?
Yeah, the website layout needs for streaming specifically, needs a massive overhaul.
Now, would you think that almost it would be a good idea if YouTube almost had a different like platform for it? So like it would pipe to their normal YouTube, right? Almost as like a thumbnail. But when you clicked on it,
A different
it
tab
would bring
opens up.
you somewhere else, right? So it's not specifically, it's like YouTube streams or YouTube something, right?
Yeah, no, I think that'd be a much better idea because right now it's they treat it as if it's a regular video, I believe, with the way it plays.
Yeah, and it's weird because the chat's there still.
I think our podcast streams live, actually.
How you mean?
So when you set it to play on Monday,
Yeah.
I believe you set it to premiere as a live video, so it plays in real time.
Huh, that's cool. So then that's interesting. So if people do get obsessed with us and they want to watch us at 6 a.m. on Mondays, they could go on and be live and have a conversation about it.
Yeah,
that'd be wild.
That's cool.
But I thought it was because I never expected YouTube to just like do any of this, right?
No, me neither.
So it completely blew my mind because there's already gamers on YouTube and they're not the biggest in like obviously pop culture. They're not even the biggest in gaming, but like they are pretty big and their YouTube channels do well. And I think so. Here's what I think. I can't be 100% sure. Do you know Nick A30 or whatever is however you pronounce that? Have you ever heard of him?
No.
He's Fortnite. So he's a bigger Fortnite streamer, right? I think he was on YouTube Live, and then Twitch bought him out, and he went over to Twitch. And this was like a month back, maybe a little more, but that which I was a little shocked that Twitch is buying people out, but I guess that was a good move for him. Yeah. So it's very interesting that YouTube is now they're like, hey, I want to be in this game too. But that's not the only streamer who moved since the last podcast. And now the next one is a very niche streamer, but a very exciting streamer for marketing, I think, from a marketing standpoint. So niche because it is a young girl. I think she's 14, 13 around. Her name's Ewok. And she became big during the Fortnite Championship Series, like one of the Pro-Ams and stuff like that.
She's a beast.
Because she's also deaf.
Is she really?
She's deaf, yeah. So she became big because everyone was like, look at this girl play. One, she's a girl, right? So when a girl's good at video games, it's still it's not as common as a guy being good at video games, right?
Yeah, it's almost new, to be honest.
Yeah.
To a lot of people.
And especially when they're good and they're not trying to sell sex, right?
Yeah,
like,
that's really refreshing.
A lot of the streamers are like the titty streamers, and they just have their tits out, and that's how they get all these guys in their stream is because they got their tits out. Where she's not.
That's how you really feel, brother.
Well, it's a thing. Not all of them. I'm not saying all of them. There's a lot who are valuable, who are good streamers, but there's some that, and I'm not talking about any of the popular ones either. Like the popular ones don't sell sex. Like these, they're not huge streamers, but they do really well numbers. They do have a good following because basically I think it like goes to like their private websites or whatever. But
OnlyFans.
it's yeah. They I think it's crazy. Like it's so cool. But she went over to Mixer. Mixer bought her out. And I think that's amazing, right? One, because I think her in that Mixer community is going to be great because she is like a fun gamer. And I think that's what Mixer is almost gearing towards, almost like the entertainment gaming, which I like. I think this is something I'm going to touch on a little bit, but they're investing in young, right? She's the next generation, right? Because when Tim, Lupo, and all these other adults start fading off, she's 13 or 14 and she already has a following. Now, unless she burns out, right, she could carry this and be bigger than all of them one day, potentially.
And be set for life.
Because none of them had this big of a following when they were her age.
Nope.
Right? And it's fun because she doesn't just play Fortnite, she plays all these other games. And it just it's vast. And I think it's a really fun move on Mixer's standpoint. But this gets to what I wanted to say. I think it would be really good if Mixer almost promoted themselves as an entertainment video game stream, right? And Twitch can then try to take the competitive.
Now that's interesting.
Right? Now, I don't know if either of them would want to do that, right? And I'm not saying that there wouldn't be entertainment streamers on Twitch, there wouldn't be competitive streamers on Mixer. But I think it would be like, especially Mixer, be like, all right, let you have your competitive stuff. We're entertainment, right? Now, I don't know how Ninja would feel about that because you do know he's trying to get like competitive at Fortnite again, or other people. Yeah. Which, I mean, the player with the most wins in Fortnite, his name is Shippings, and he's on Mixer. He's always been on Mixer.
Interesting.
Like, yeah, because he's an Xbox player. And it's very interesting of what's going on here. It's very, very interesting to see all these moves. But what do you think of these two moves that like now that YouTube's involved in?
I think it, like I was saying earlier with the whole AMC discussion, I love it because it makes sure no one's monopolizing the video game streaming industry. The variation of platforms and variation of streamers within those platforms helps make for a better product, I believe. I think that YouTube is now going to have to step their game up in order to compete with platforms like Twitch and like Mixer. Those platforms, excuse me, in terms of their page layout, are miles ahead of YouTube in terms of the presentation of a stream. It's not even close. I've been watching YouTube streams for years now, and they're always garbage. On top of that, and you know what's funny? This is going to be up on YouTube. I hope we don't get taken down for me bashing them or whatever. But it's all comes from a place of love in terms of I want these streams to be presented better.
Yeah.
There's also issues with people using like emojis or something in chat, which people are getting their accounts taken down for.
Really?
There was something like that happening a couple weeks ago. Yeah.
That's wild because like chats could get wild. Like.
Yeah, I know. That's the thing.
So you can't. I don't know. Someone losing their whole YouTube account because of it?
I think their Google account, bro.
Oh, that's even crazier. Do you know how much stuff is on your... Like, can you imagine losing your Gmail because you say something in wild in someone's chat?
Bro, I would move right back to AOL. No cap.
Yo, AOL.
No cap, bro. That would piss me off.
No,
so
you go to Microsoft, go to Outlook.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Yeah, be like that's the direct competition. You're like, hey, screw you, Google.
Yeah. So that's the thing. Like, they them getting into this type of stuff is going to force them to just be better, really. Yeah. And I like that.
Yeah, it's an exciting road. Every podcast, I feel like I keep coming. I'm like, every time I bring this topic up, I'm like, I feel like I'm talking about this topic too much, but it's just so exciting.
Well, it's new every single week.
Yeah, there's so many updates, and then the potential behind it. Like, it's so cool seeing, like, between the streaming that, like, television streaming, right? Which we could also, if we want to do real quick, talk about Disney Plus. I don't know if you've been on it yet.
No, I haven't yet.
But there's that, and then there's also, like, the video game streaming. It's so cool how everything's moving to internet, and we get to witness it as content lovers and creators. Mm-hmm. So But one more question that I want to cover real quick is, what do you think it would take for video games to become almost mainstream content?
Um, you want the honest answer?
You don't think it's possible?
No, no, there's a way. I mean, so once once all these like middle-aged folk who run the entertainment industry die out,
Yeah.
um, I believe that if you get the right people in positions of power, and that includes maybe former gamers, former streamers. Maybe one day Ninja decides to hang up the actual streaming and gets into the production aspect of everything.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Internet-based personalities become more mainstream, like that girl, woman, I should say, Lily Singh, I think is her name.
Yeah.
Like she has her own late night show now and stuff. I think once those people start replacing the old guard, I think you can see more integration of video game and gaming culture, and it'll be more normalized. Because I mean, I know with your parents and mine, they didn't grow up with video games.
Yeah.
They saw them progress, but they didn't grow up with them. You and I have had video games since, man. I mean, I had a Game Boy Color when I had to have been 4 years old.
I think there was always video games in my house. Like since the times I remember.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly. So I think that's it's gonna take. Like, I'm sure originally people that were watching TV, it was like, we have the radio. Why do you need TV?
yeah.
Or before radio, it was like, we have newspapers and books. Why do you need radio?
But even you could see it with the whole like how some of these YouTube or social media celebrities are getting opportunities in other places.
Bro, Logan
Um,
Paul and KSI are two YouTubers that almost sold out the Staples Center last weekend.
yeah.
The boxing fight, which was garbage.
I think that was something where years ago that I don't think any of us would have seen, like, oh, like YouTuber, like really, like,
The Staples Center in Los Angeles. Come on now.
yeah. And then
Yeah.
now video games is in their old slot of like, well, it's on that cusp of becoming something more popular. But it was just a question that I was like, they're at this weird spot where they are bigger, right? They're getting
Mhm.
bigger, they're getting that traction. But what's gonna push them really over the edge? Because a lot of people know Ninja, but a lot of people don't. They know him as that kid who plays the video games, is really popular. Um,
Yeah.
and I'm very curious to like, what would it take for him or anyone else to really like boom. But I think we're gonna need another Ninja in the sense of another big personality that
We
blows up
probably
and
need a new
goes
game, no?
mainstream. Yeah. You know, I mean like another like takes the world type of game, like it takes over,
Yeah, I
becomes
mean,
popular.
so like
Yeah, but
Fortnite
I don't
isn't
even I
as
don't think
big, right?
yeah.
So the way I see it is like Ninja and Fortnite were almost symbiotic in
Yeah.
terms of the way they both grew. I think Fortnite used Ninja and Ninja used, I mean, more so Ninja using Fortnite. But I think that because Fortnite got so big, he was allowed to become that big. I don't think Fortnite's at that stage anymore. I don't think COD has been there for a couple years, even though I think right now it might be even the better game.
Yeah.
And I think in order for there to be a new Ninja, which I think is very hard, I think he's a one of one.
Mhm.
I think we need another game.
Um I could agree on that. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
something
like
something new
so
without like with different mechanics. You know what I mean?
I'm pulling up Ninja's channel right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
And looking at his view counts. So he used to get like millions of views on every video. And even
On the
those
YouTube
have
videos, right?
what? Yeah, on YouTube videos. And even those have dropped. Where he
Okay, no.
has some, right? So like a month ago he still has one that hit 1.8. Um but like his most recent of let's just say the last 10 videos, they're all sitting around 400,000. So it was a
Whoa.
big drop off, but that's still crazy numbers.
Those are still like I can make a solid
But I also
just YouTube
wonder,
videos.
if it has to do with this whole switch, like, like, cause his stream obviously isn't as popular as it used to be.
Well, so let's think about this. When did you switch to Mixer?
August 1st.
So Ninja probably switched early
Like
July,
literally,
right?
no, he like same time.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Ninja, as of a month ago, was getting 2 million views on a video, or a million views, or
Mm-hmm.
close to a million. Uh, then 1 month ago, it dropped way down to 692,000, and then it's kind of been floating around there. Aside from like the random 4 million view video
Yeah.
that just pops up out of nowhere. So yeah, I don't know. It's
It's a it's
man,
interesting because now you know what I'm noticing is on Twitch and on Mixer, Fortnite is evening out with a lot of other games, right?
yeah. Hmm.
Um, wow, COD has dropped on Twitch like crazy, like, at least at this moment. So right now, it is Saturday at 2:43 p.m. The top categories on Twitch are Fortnite with 165,000 views. Um, Just Chatting with 148,000, Counter Strike with 141,000, Pokemon Sword and Shield with 131,000, and
That game slaps.
League of Legends with 126,000. Now saying this, out of the streamers that I follow, Nick Merckx is playing Fortnite, Tim's playing World of Warcraft, Nick A30, Cloaksy, Cypher, Dakotas are all on Fortnite, and Dr. Lupo is playing Escape from Tarkov. What I've noticed is a lot of these streamers are still playing Fortnite, but it's not their main game all the time anymore. Um, and I wonder if that's going to hurt or help the streaming.
I don't know. That's a good question.
Because like there's no one game where everyone's like, I want to watch them play again. Like I want to watch them, and they might not be playing together as much. Like I think part of the fun was watching Lupo, Tim, Ninja, and like Courage all playing a squads game together and fool around. Like I think that was part of the entertainment. They paired well together, and I wonder if they did more of that, if their channels would like be success, like if they would get more views consistently if they all play together all the time, or if it would like hurt them.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah. So, but with that, um, that's really all I got for today. Oh,
Awesome. I think we've gone long enough.
last thing, final thoughts on Disney Plus. I know you haven't seen it yet. Um, it's decent
Hmm.
because they didn't. So like, I know there's so many television series coming out on it, but it's not out right now. It felt like it was a lot of hype for the release, and then the only series we got is The Mandalorian. And
Yeah.
it would have been good if they had like 2 or 3 more on release, which is a problem. Especially because even though I know I like what they're doing, is they're releasing it episodically.
Which is awesome.
I love that because I have this binge watching crap I don't necessarily like that much. Due to the fact because I don't feel like it has that hype around TV shows. But I really love that. But I do think they should have had a couple other because you watch the first episode of Mandalorian and then you're like, okay, well, I don't really feel like watching Cars. So I'm going to go to Netflix now. And boom.
Oh, can we talk about Netflix like for like a second?
Yeah, I'm down. I don't got anywhere to be.
Netflix secured the bag. They got that Nickelodeon bag.
Oh my God, yes. Oh, wait, I have another thing after this too.
Is it about the SpongeBob?
No. Yeah, this
Okay.
this podcast is gonna be a little longer. I don't even care.
We were talking a couple weeks ago about how Netflix needed to step their game up because they only made money off of subscriptions, and then they just spat on our faces because they got the Nickelodeon bag. I think they're going to be the ones who have exclusive rights to Nickelodeon content. I think I don't have the exact details of the deal, and they will be producing brand new content for them, including, and this is according to BuzzFeed and fandom, so take this with a grain of salt, a Squidward spin-off show. Right?
Wow.
Oh my God.
Yo, that's you know what? That show might slap too.
Oh, It's absolutely
If one, they have to have like basically the same writers and same creators. Okay, you need that. But two, like that is interesting because you never really get that much of Squidward's life except for an episode here or episode there. But
and he's the one character you could do a show about.
Yeah, he's an interesting. Patrick is. There's nothing there.
No, he's fluff.
Sandy, possibly. I'm not even gonna lie. Maybe Sandy Cheeks.
Okay. Sandy
right?
might slap
because she's a smart character. So maybe solving problems or doing research because that's the reason she's down there.
And you could do land and sea stuff with her.
Yeah. Oh, that's so, dude. You could do land and sea stuff. Except, would you want the animation on land because you know how every time they went to land it would get like
weird.
Yeah. So I don't know if you could do that.
Well, I want animation on land. You remember that one episode where they went on land?
Well, that's the thing. But even
household objects like a
did
sponge?
you see the trailer for the movie?
Yeah, where they're like, it's like
claymation.
Yeah.
Is it claymation only on land? Because I didn't actually watch the trailer.
I don't think so. I think it's regular animation.
All right.
Movie. Interesting. Keep talking and I'll let you know in a second.
So, but like that, it's crazy. Like one, I hope they revamp some. No, wait. One, I'm so excited to be able to watch. I hope, and if it's not on there, I'm gonna be so pissed. These old TV shows at a easily accessible thing, like Rocket Power, Rugrats, all that crap.
Drake and Josh.
Yes. If it's not on there, I will lose my goddamn mind. Okay. Because right now it's not easy to find. One, I'm not going on the Nickelodeon website. That's just I don't need that in my browser history. I feel like that's really weird.
Yes.
But if it's so like you find it, but you find it on these third-party websites, and some links work, some links don't, and then you might get a virus, or your computer might get hacked by the FBI. I don't even know.
Oh, real quick, the whole movie is like that.
Oh, all claymation?
I don't think it's claymation, but it has a claymation.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know if I like that.
We'll see.
Okay, yeah.
I'm gonna watch it. Wait, real quick. The deal. Oh my god, the bag. $200+ million, and it's multi-year.
Interesting, and that's for Netflix paid. Nickelodeon.
I think Nickelodeon might have paid Netflix.
Honestly, I think that should be what. I mean, I think that's.
Wait, let's see. Nickelodeon. I don't want to spread that if that's not the case.
Yo, because it's a good deal on both of them, right? So one, I mean, in the Meadowlands. So Kyle and I live in North Jersey, and in Meadowlands they just opened up this new Mall of America, big mall, right? I forgot the name of it. American Dream.
The Mall of America. No,
it's American Dream. I think that was called.
Okay.
And they have like a Nickelodeon area, right? With characters. So that's the thing. It's great for Nickelodeon to be on Netflix because their content's out there. People could watch it, and then it sells more toys. It sells more plushes, maybe clothing. It smells whatever. Their merch is gonna skyrocket because it's easily available, right? Oh my god, I'm so overwhelmed with like, because it's such a good deal for both. Because it's gonna bring people to Netflix. It gives parents a reason to have Netflix for the cartoons for their kids and the shows for their kids, but then also for like nostalgia. But then it also helps Nickelodeon.
Yeah. So actually, I think Netflix might have paid Nickelodeon the $200.
Oh god, that's not good though.
So here's a quote from the New York Times article. The people said the overall deal was worth more than $200 million to Nickelodeon. So wait, hold on. So maybe that means I don't know what. Wait, that might mean that Nickelodeon paid. Who knows?
Look, if anyone out there knows, please let us know because now we're gonna be curious. But do you know about the other deal?
What other deal?
Ooh, you mean the deal that we predicted, Kyle? What did we say about how we used to have cable packages and then we would have streaming packages? Hulu, Disney Plus, and ESPN Plus.
Yeah.
Hulu. What we say about Hulu?
That they're the ones.
Bro, that's crazy. Because obviously ESPN Plus and Disney Plus, it makes sense that they have a deal. But is Hulu owned by Disney?
Yes, it is.
So this is crazy because that is a big streaming service. One, why didn't they just kind of, I guess they wanted to market their own, and I mean it'll work, but why didn't they just put Disney stuff on Hulu? Whatever.
To make more money.
That's why. But $17.98 and you get those three things.
Is that what you signed up for?
I didn't. I'm on my sister's trial for Disney Plus.
No cap, I might just bump up my Hulu subscription to that to get all three.
It's worth it. One, you get the ESPN Plus, you get the Hulu, and you get the Disney. You got everything. Like that is almost everything you need.
Yes,
And
only.
I
only
wonder
though,
what type of Hulu it is, right?
I was about to say because you have commercialized Hulu as well, and that
Yeah.
sucks.
So I wonder if it's the Hulu Plus. Huh.
I hope so.
God, but like there you go. You got one package. And that's like a wide variety of content because on the Disney Plus, it's not just Disney stuff. They have the National Geographic stuff on there too.
Oh yeah,
because they own Natural Geographic. Shout out Natural Geographic. If anyone likes documentaries, make sure you check out Free Solo it's called. Amazing documentary about a guy who rock climbs without any ropes.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's awesome. Just deals at the wazoo going on right now. And
yeah, it's dope.
And with that, I think we've run our course.
Yeah, I think I started my timer late, but we might be either nearing an hour or.
Yeah, I think we're about at 56 minutes.
Sheesh.
Yep. And with that, Kyle, tell the people where to find you.
You can find me on YouTube, Geeks Weekly. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Buff Charmander. And tweet at me with any questions, comments. Probably not concerns because I mean, how much can I actually help you out with in your real life?
Yeah, I don't know. You're not a therapist.
No.
And me, the Ginger Gorilla. I am Ginger Gorilla on Mixer. I am Ginger Gorilla on Twitter. Ginger Gorilla Gaming on Instagram, and Ginger Gorilla Gaming on YouTube. And for the podcast, we're on all major podcast services, but we also are on YouTube. So we don't have videos up right now. If you guys would ever be interested in that one day, you gotta let us know. But check out the YouTube page. Subscribe to the channel. If you think eventually that this podcast should have its own channel, you need to let us know those types of things. But like the video, share it with your friends. Share the podcast with your friends. If you hear this and you listen to our voice, help spread the love. And as for that, I think that's it.
Yeah, wait, real quick. They can find this on your YouTube, right?
Yeah, my YouTube.
That's where it is?
Yep.
Awesome.
All right. And I'm Ginger Gorilla, Kyle.
And I'm Kyle from Geeks Weekly.
Have a great week, everybody.
Thanks for listening.
Peace.